Will the clerk please call the roll to ascertain the presence of a quorum?
Councilor Baker.
Here.
Councilor Siomo. Councilor Flaherty. Councilor Jackson.
Here.
Councilor Lamatina. Councilor McCarthy. Councilor Linehan.
Here.
Councilor Murphy. Councilor O'Malley. Councilor Presley. Councilor Wu. Councilor Yancey. And Councilor Zachem. Mr. President, we have four.
I've been informed by the clerk that a quorum is present. I would ask at this time for all councilors and guests to please rise. I invite Councilor McCarthy to the podium to introduce today's clergy. After the invocation is delivered, I would ask all members and guests to remain standing to recite the Pledge of Allegiance, of which Councilor McCarthy will lead us in. Councilor McCarthy, your introduction.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good afternoon, everybody. It is my great pleasure to introduce a good friend of Rosendale and a good friend of all, really, Sister Nancy Braceland. She's a sister of St. Joseph. She is the co-founder of the Casserly House in Rosendale in 2000. The Casserly House is named after Mother Regis Casserly. She's the founder of the Sisters of St. Joseph of Boston. The Casserly House is a neighborhood center. They have morning programs, adult programs. They're helping adult immigrants. They have after-school programs. They can help kids with homework, things like that. They work extensively with us as a city, as well as the Boston Police Department. They're really founded on three core programs: adult ESOL programs. They have a great after-school programs, a homework club. And they have really their third branch is neighborhood gatherings, neighborhood services, cleanups, and things like that. Sister Nancy and I became friends several years ago when I was in the Public Works Department. They had an unfortunate incident in that area. We did some cleanups, we did some lights, we did some floodlights, and it's very interesting to see how Sister works with all of the community, the Vietnamese temple down there, the Archdale development, and the Boston Police Department. She really is a wonderful person in that neighborhood. She is the epitome of what a Christian should be. So it is my pleasure to introduce Sister Nancy Braceland.
Beginnings. God, as we begin this session of the Boston City Council, we are grateful for all of the gifts of today, that we are well and able to gather, that we can celebrate our diversity of ideas and ethnicity, that we are more one than divided. We are grateful for the roots of past mayors and councilors who sowed good seed in fertile ground. Grateful for the stretch to imagine ways beyond ourselves to better our Boston community. Be with us, Creator God, as individuals and as a council. Inspire us with wisdom to be open to the common good and to let go of our own agendas. We know, God, that Boston is strong, and our role is to nurture this strength found in the people as they live their daily lives. Help us to engage in creative dialogue, pass worthwhile legislation, and be honest in our everyday dealings. Our tasks are many: reducing violence, preparing for the marathon, looking at healthcare options for all peoples, welcoming the strangers and the visitors who come to Boston to better their lives and to share their gifts. Our God, we know you by so many names. Be with us, both in our family anxieties and our council deliberations. May this God who loves us far beyond our imaginings fill us with joy and peace. Amen.
Thank you, Sister Nancy. Thank you for your important and inspiring message. Councilor McCarthy, will you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Thank you. Councilor McCarthy will escort Sister Nancy from the chamber. Thank you, Sister, again. If there are no corrections to be made, the minutes of last week's meeting will stand approved. Seeing and hearing no objections, the minutes are so approved. Madam Clerk, communications from His Honor the Mayor.
Mr. President, would you like me to read both?
Please do.
Docket number 0478, message in order to reduce the FY14 appropriation for the reserve for collective bargaining by $413,160 to provide funding for the library department for the FY14 increases contained within the collective bargaining agreement between the City of Boston and the Boston Public Library Professional Staff Association, PSA. Docket number 0479, message in order approving a supplemental appropriation of $413,160 for the Boston Public Library Professional Staff FY14 to cover the cost items contained within the collective bargaining agreement between the City of Boston and the Library Professional Staff Association, PSA, filed in the office of the City Clerk on March 7, 2014.
Dockets 0478 and 0479 will be assigned to the Committee on Ways and Means. At this time, I'd like to recognize the chair of that committee, Councilor Siomo.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm asking my colleagues to suspend and pass these two dockets. This is the last civilian union to come to agreement with the city. It impacts 148 librarians. It's the same wage pattern as all the other contracts that we've approved over the past year plus. So I'm asking my colleagues to suspend and pass. There's one provision with the librarians specifically that now goes to a 5-day work week, which has facilitated the reopening of the Copley Square branch on Sundays as well as the branch libraries with Saturday hours. So I would ask my colleagues to support this. Thank you.
Councilor Siomo moves suspension of the rules and passage of docket 0478. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and docket 0478 has been passed. Councilor Siomo, at this time, moves suspension of the rules and passage of docket 0479. All in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and docket 0479 has passed. Madam Clerk, please read reports of public offices and others.
Docket number 0480, notices received from Spectrum Energy regarding Algonquin Gas Transmission, LLC, Algonquin Incremental Market Project, FERC, docket number PF13-16-000.
Docket 0480 will be placed on file. Madam Clerk, please read motions, orders, and resolutions.
Docket number 0481, Councilor O'Malley and Presley offer the following order for hearing on the feasibility of curbside composting in the City of Boston.
Councilor O'Malley.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to begin by saying that the green ties that we see, and I'm remiss not wearing one, not only for St. Patrick's Day next week, but also for the great legislation that's being proposed today with myself, Councilor Presley, and my dear friend, Councilor Baker. Docket 0481 is an order that I'm reintroducing. Last year, some of our former colleague, former Councilor at Large, Felix Arroyo, and I teamed up for this. Met with several members of the administration, several activists that have been involved with this, and we were able to share a lot of great information and really prepare, and I'm excited for the opportunity to partner up with my dear friend, Councilor at Large Ayanna Presley, and begin it at the next level. Yesterday, a coalition of environmental groups, the Boston Zero Waste Task Force, released a set of recommendations at a presentation right here on the Council. The report highlighted the importance of composting and recommended that the city implement a curbside composting pilot program. This city, to their enormous credit, began doing a voluntary compost system at 3 farmers markets back in August of this year: Harvard, Alston, Eggleston Square, and Bowdoin, Geneva. It was from the middle of August through the end of October, and just anecdotally, it was met with tremendous success, where you had people that would come and bring their yard waste, food waste and scraps and other things to be composted. The BRA as well has been working on issues over the last several years. I know our good colleague, Councillor Yancey, has taken the lead on many of these issues on urban farming, and they released Article 89 late last year, which outlines regulations for urban farmers who wish to compost on their lot. Composting is something that every other major city in the country is doing enormously well, and I think that in Boston we do some great environmental initiatives exceedingly well. Very proud that we passed the Boston Energy Reporting and Disclosure Ordinance last year, and some many other things. But this is one area where we really need to take it to the next level. Composting is an important process. Compost itself is rich in nutrients. It improves the water holding capacity of soil, encourages good root structure while reducing or eliminating the need for chemical pesticides, making it a great material to use in gardens, landscaping, and agriculture. Other cities, as I've mentioned, more than 90 cities across the country are doing some aspect of city-run composting programs. San Francisco, for example, diverts nearly 80%, 78% of its waste from landfills is now being composted and recycling. In its first year of curbside composting, the city of Portland, Oregon, reduced their trash production by 37%. In many ways, they had once a week pickup, and they now do it two times a month, every other week, because the need is there. Cambridge has conducted a feasibility study, which during last summer in 2012, and they have begun, I believe, in January, just 2 months ago, a one-year curbside composting program for 800 households in the month. There are local businesses that do this. There's one called Bootstrap Composting, which has 550 residential customers and 21 commercial customers in Jamaica Plain alone, that has diverted more than 240,000 pounds of food scraps from landfills and instead are being used as fertilizers since 2011. Colleges and universities in the city have embraced these programs and are working. Harvard, particularly, and Boston University have really led the way with this, and we're seeing great success happen. We all know the basic economics of it. We pay to throw out trash. We've been doing some great things with our recycling, particularly the single-stream recycling, which, if done right, and we still need more to do there, but if done right, we are being paid per tonnage as opposed to paying per tonnage. With composting, it's the same thing. And we will, if done right and done well and done wide enough, we will actually earn revenue from this thing. And it's also, we can talk about ways that we can work to use this fertilizer, use this compost in city parks, in city fields. It's rich in nutrients, it's free of pesticides, it's healthier. It could be used for all finished landscaping in the city of Boston. When I was doing some research for this hearing order, I looked at, again, looking at what other cities are doing. In Denver, Colorado, began preparing for it, and they just started this year as well in 2014. And they had a figure that 25 million, the average year in the United States, 25 million tons of food waste go to landfills, 25 million tons of food. So these are all compost material. This is the banana peels and the coffee grounds and everything. And if it was composted, that 25 million tons every year, it would be the equivalent of removing 7.8 million passenger cars from the road. The greenhouse gas impacting of composting, what we in the United States throw out every year, would be the equivalent of removing nearly 8 million cars from the road every year. This is one of those great initiatives, I believe, that is great for the environment, and if done right, is also good for the taxpayer. And ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, it doesn't get any better than that. So look forward to a great hearing, look forward to partnering with all of you, hearing ways that we can make it sure that this works, maybe look at a pilot program in the city somewhere, work with our new administration and some of the new folks to make sure, the new DPW, parks and others, to make sure this is done right. I think this is a really exciting initiative and look forward to working with all of you to making it a reality. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor O'Malley. Councilor Presley.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Councilor O'Malley, for inviting me to partner with you to build upon your successful advocacy and foundation established with former Councilor Arroyo And I do just want to say for those that are watching, correct me if I'm wrong, that what prompted that effort and that advocacy was in direct response to the feedback that we received at the State of Jamaica Plain Forum. So never doubt the impact of civic engagement, and when you speak up and out, we do listen and do respond accordingly. In addition to the environmental benefits, which Councilor O'Malley has already perfectly articulated, and the success of the Greenovate pilot program at the drop-off sites at the food markets in Eggleston, Harvard-Alston, and Bowdoin, and Geneva, this does seem a natural next step. I did want to underscore some numbers for the city of Boston around the economic benefits, and also why I do believe this order is especially timely. So the city of Boston manages 240,000 tons of waste each year. But organic waste, such as food and yard waste, make up everywhere between 25 and 50% of what people throw away. In FY13, the city spent just over $40 million on trash collection, roughly half of which funded disposal expenses. So this proposal is especially timely as the city considers the new trash collectors contract that will go into effect this summer. I hope that we can successfully include this proposal as a cost-saving component for that contract. And again, I commend the maker and thank you for the opportunity to sponsor and to partner with you in this effort.
Thank you, Councilor Preston. Councilor Flaherty.
Please add my name, Mr. President.
Please add Councilor Flaherty's name, Councilor Murphy's name, Councilor McCarthy's name, Councilor LaMartina, Councilor Jackson, Councilor Siomo, Councilor Baker, Councilor Yancey, Councilor Wu, and please add my name.
Docket number 0482. Councilor Baker offered the following resolution to turn off non-essential city lights in support of Earth Hour 2014.
Councilor Baker.
The resolution that was always done by Councilor Conley, and I picked this one up this year. This is basically just for us to show support for Earth Hour, which was an annual awareness event created by the World Wildlife Fund. Earth Hour is basically just asking us, the city, to the city and whoever may listen to us. I don't know if anybody listens to anybody in this room, but Earth Hour is on March 29, 2014, between 8:30 and 9:30, and we're asking just to turn off all non-essential lights in the city, and whoever else that would like to join with us in doing that. Just, again, just a show of support, and I would like to ask for suspension and passage.
Councilor Baker moves suspension and adoption of docket 0482. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Docket 0482 is adopted. Madam Clerk, I was remiss in assigning docket 0481. Could you please assign 0481 to the Committee on City, Neighborhood Services, and Veterans Affairs? Thank you. I'm informed by the clerk that there are no late file matters at this time. Anyone wishing to remove a matter from the green sheets may do so at this time. No takers on the green sheets. Oh, sure. One moment. Thank you. There is one late file matter which, of absence of objection, will be added to the consent agenda. Seeing, hearing no objection, the matters are added. The chair moves adoption of the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. The consent agenda is adopted. Councilor Baker. Please go ahead.
Today, too, by the way. I'd just like to invite people to it's a panel discussion at Wheelock College on 3:30 to 5 on Thursday, March 20th. The discussion is battling the sex industry. In some of our neighborhoods, mine in particular, and possibly, you know who has it, we have prostitution that happens on the street. One of the people that is going to be here is from Stockholm to talk about the Nordic model. The Nordic model kind of changes the way we look at the street level prostitution, and there's talk that they've totally eradicated it in Stockholm. So I just want to make sure that people know Thursday from 3:30 to 5, Wheelock College at the Brookline campus. I'd like to, if people are interested in going, I think my good friend from Dorchester may be interested in something like this. It'll be hopefully a healthy discussion, and maybe we can come out with some ideas to help the districts that are suffering through this, because it's not just the people that are on the street. It's much deeper than that, and I think it's something that we should all be talking about, not be afraid to talk about. And thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Baker, for that important announcement. At this time, I'd like to take an opportunity to wish all of my colleagues happy St. Patrick's Day and Evacuation Day in the city of Boston, which we'll celebrate this weekend and on Monday. Unfortunately, I will not be here at that time, and will be representing all of you as the president in the city of Limerick, where the mayor has invited me to participate in all of those festivities. Also, I'll be celebrating St. Patrick's Day here in Boston tonight at J.J. Foley's, and you're all welcome to come and participate in that. St. Patrick's Day and Evacuation Day are very key and important dates here in the city of Boston, and ones in which we celebrate and recognize importantly and do a really good job of it. So I just want to take that time. I'd also like to let you know that I will be doing an on-air live from Limerick statement back to the breakfast. The Senator Linda Docina-Flori has been very courteous and gracious in allowing me to send back a message to all of you at the breakfast. So have a great weekend, and at this time I'd ask all guests and all members to please rise as the council prepares to adjourn today's meeting in memory of the following individuals. For Councilor Baker, Elaine C. Blackman Vieira, Peter Anastas, Thomas Lucas. For Councilor Siomo, Earl Red Creel. For Councilors Linehan and Flaherty, Robert E. Bibby Devine, Councilor Flaherty's uncle, Jean M. Picard, and Vincent J. Safraza Sr. For Councilor Lamartina, Patricia Garino, Florence L. Johnson, who's a Gold Star mother of a U.S. Navy vet in World War II, Paul Baglio, and Francis Frankie DeLisi. For Councilor O'Malley, Ralph H. Young. Moment of silence, please. Thank you. The chair moves that when the council adjourns today, it does so in memory of the aforementioned individuals and is scheduled to meet again on Wednesday, March 26, 2014 at 12 o'clock noon. All those in favor of adjournment say aye. All opposed, nay. The ayes have it, and the council is adjourned.